Hola, mi nombre es Alonso Chávez y estoy en el sexto ciclo de la carrera de Literatura Hispánica y en esta oportunidad vamos a conversar con el profesor Paolo Furia a propósito de su visita a nuestra facultad y en el marco del curso de Estética. El doctor Paolo Furia es docente en la Universidad de Torino y su área de estudio ha sido la fenomenología de realizó. También viene investigando sobre el paisaje. Gracias por la entrevista, doctor Furia.
Muchas gracias.
Bienvenido. Entiendo que su actual tema de investigación es el paisaje. ¿Cuál es la relevancia filosófica del paisaje? I understand that your current topic of research is the landscape. How is the landscape philosophically relevant?
Thank you very much, first of all, for this opportunity. Landscape is a philosophical issue because landscape is like the skin of the earth, and being in the world, as many times we say as philosophers, means also being into landscape. So we are a force as human genre, a force that operates on Earth, transforming it and applicating its own ideas on the very shape of the Earth. So the point is that if we want to develop a complete philosophical anthropology, we shouldn't overlook the important issue of how we conceive of landscape, how we deal with space, how we transform natural resources into instruments for the human life, and how we also live with other kinds of actors and subjects, non-human subjects that share with us the same terrestrial surface.
Okay, thank you. ¿Cómo puede esta consideración sobre el paisaje contribuir a responder las inquietudes de otras disciplinas del saber o incluso problemas más actuales? How can this consideration of landscape contribute to answer the questions that come from other disciplines or even more contemporary issues?
Well, first of all, let's think to the fact that landscape is both what we represent of space. So in this sense, a philosophical inquiry on landscape deals with an issue that is typical of art, how we depict and represent things and why do we do that. But landscape is at the same time also the place in which we live. So landscape has to do with architecture, has to do with urbanism, has to do with planning, and environmental studies, ecology more specifically. That means that a philosophical inquiry has the aim of keeping together different levels of the discourse about landscape, combining different points of view and trying to build up a general theory of what landscape is, can be, and also endowed, I think, with normative power. So what landscape should be in order to become a terrestrial reality in which people can effectively live together.
Y aún así, no todo es lo estético. Diría que pensar en los límites de lo estético sirve para promover la reflexión que parte desde el arte. And yet, not everything is aesthetics. Will you say that thinking on the limits of aesthetics works to foster the thoughts that come from art?
Yeah, I think that what makes of landscape a very interesting concept is precisely the fact that it is a concept coming from the aesthetics. As we well know, everybody, landscape designs, first of all, a kind of painting, okay? Also in our Neo-Latin languages, like in Italiano, paesaggio, in Spanish, paisaje, it reflects this aesthetic experience of depicting places. But the interesting part of the issue of landscape is precisely the fact that it is not only aesthetic. It overcomes the boundary of the merely aesthetics in order to reconnect to other more substantive issues such as ecological and socio-political balances. So, for instance, when we discuss of landscapes, we should also discuss of how people perceive and live within a landscape, which is quite important in a time in which globalization and extreme standardization in the tastes at the level of global public opinion risks to result in a quite standardized approach in landscape planning, for instance. So arts, in my opinion, can be useful as long as they reconnect with ecology, environmental sciences, and also socio-political sciences in order to vindicate the local character of landscapes, in order to put into light the local character and nature of landscapes.
Thank you very much, Professor Furia. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, gracias.
Y muchas gracias a todas y todos. Nos vemos en un siguiente episodio de Humanidades al Aire.